Welcome to Navigating Advocacy, the true crime podcast that goes beyond storytelling to ignite change and seek justice. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Whitney. As true crime enthusiasts turned passionate advocates, we've seen the power of storytelling raise awareness about unsolved crimes and bring hope to victims and their families. We hope to inspire action and promote positive change within the true crime community.
Our mission is simple. We provide a platform for victims and their families to share their stories, to be heard, and find solidarity. But we don't stop there. We offer practical guidance to our listeners on how they can actively make a difference in their own communities.
In each episode, we'll discuss a different unsolved case. We'll examine the details, highlight potential leads, and strive to spark new interests that may help advance the investigation. Our goal is to reignite hope and ultimately bring justice where it's long overdue.
But this podcast is about more than just a conversation. It's about building a community of like-minded individuals who share a common purpose, making a real difference in the fight for justice. Whether you're a seasoned true crime fan or new to the genre, we invite you to join us on this journey of discovery and advocacy.
Together, we can create a wave of change. We're here to empower you to also become advocates for change, no matter where or who you are. We are Navigating Advocacy.
We discuss topics that may be sensitive to listeners. Discretion is advised.
This week, we are navigating advocacy in Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, to be exact. Situated in southwest Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh has a population of just over 300,000 people and is known as the Steel City. If I were a sports person, I would bet money that that's why they call their football team the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I honestly always wondered why they were called the Steelers.
While researching this, I did learn that the Steelers actually borrowed their logo, the three little star thing, from a steel company here in Pittsburgh.
That's cute.
It was named the Steel City after the process to make steel was revolutionized by switching from charcoal to coal in the melting process. Pittsburgh's surrounding area has large coal deposits, and steel fabricators began popping up near coal mines to save money during the fabrication process. Pittsburgh, being situated by 3 navigable rivers, also allowed for easy transportation and distribution. If you fancy architecture, the second nickname for Pittsburgh is the City of Bridges because it has 446 of them.
-1, considering the one that just fell down last week. That was in Pittsburgh, correct?
Maybe? But okay, 445 bridges. As with most cities that grow quickly, crime is a steady struggle within Pittsburgh. It sits at number 7 on Neighborhood Scout Crime Index, meaning it is safer than only 7% of other neighborhoods. In 2019, Pittsburgh reported over 20,000 murders, over 140,000 rapes, over 200,000 robberies, and over 940,000 assaults. These are all just under double the state average. Not all statistics of Pittsburgh are negative, though. The first Tyrannosaurus rex fossil is on display at the Carnegie Museum of Natural Science.
Oh.
The first commercial radio station in the world, KDKA, was founded. In 1920, 80% of the glass made in the United States came from Pittsburgh, and there are more than 700 public stairwells in the city limits, and they are maintained by the Inspector of Steps.
Oh, that is really cool.
The world's first modern art museum was opened in 1895, the Carnegie Museum of Art. Art was a big part of 22-year-old Tonee Marie Turner's life. She herself was a talented artist who loved dancing, studying nutrition, attending concerts, and Black history. Tonee spent her days working as a full-time fabricator at Studebaker Metals in the Pittsburgh suburb of Braddock, just 8 miles away. When she wasn't working there, she was teaching ceramics classes at the Carnegie Library of Braddock. On Monday, December 30th, 2019, Tonee was on first shift at the fabrication plant. She worked from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m., and a couple of hours after work, roughly around 6 o'clock, she went to a nearby tea room on Murray Avenue called Dobra Tea in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood. While at the tea room, she was texting back and forth with her sister for a bit, and then Tonee hopped on the city bus to head south towards her home in Hazelwood. Her usual stop was just 3 miles away at the corner of Gidding Street and Hazelwood Avenue. The bus driver recalls seeing her step off the bus at this stop before he carried on his route. The following day, Tonee's aunt received a phone call from a firefighter around 11 a.m. who, while out riding his bike the evening before, came upon Tonee's purse, a pair of shoes, and a ceramic pot. He says he found the purse, shoes, and pot on the Homestead Grays Bridge pedestrian walkway. He grabbed the purse and carried it home with the hope of returning it to its owner, but left behind the other items. Inside, he found Tonee's cell phone, a journal, a water bottle, and keys. Finding Tonee's aunt's number in the phone, he reached out to her. Tonee's aunt said that Tonee had a habit of losing her phone, so at first, she wasn't too concerned. The man returned all of the items in Tonee's purse to the family that Tuesday. He says he found the purse, shoes, and pot on the Homestead Grays Bridge pedestrian walkway. He grabbed the purse and carried it home with the hopes to return it to its owner, but left behind the other items. Inside, he found Tonee's cell phone, a journal, a water bottle, and keys. Finding Tonee's aunt's number in the phone, he reached out to her.
Well, this is amazing for this guy to go through this trouble to get these belongings back to their rightful owner.
Absolutely, and not just pocket whatever he found.
Exactly.
The man met the family later that day and returned all of the items in Tonee's purse to the family that Tuesday. He told them then that there were also shoes and a ceramic pot left on the bridge, but that he did not have the hand space to carry them on his bike. Tonee's family headed to the bridge, but found nothing there. The bridge is over a mile away from Tonee's bus stop. She did not frequent the area to her family's knowledge, so how did her purse and phone end up on the bridge? With her family not able to recover the shoes or the ceramic pot, how could they verify if they were even Tonee's items with the purse? Could she have left her purse on the bus and someone take it? Tonee's mother, Darlene, called her residence in hopes to find her there, and that she had just lost her phone or, again, left it behind on the bus, but she received no answer. Later that day, the family learned that Tonee did not make it to her scheduled shift at 8 a.m. Tonee was reliable to a fault, and this created major concerns. Darlene called the Pittsburgh Police Department and reported Tonee missing. Pittsburgh police put out a post on social media asking for public help the following day. No tangible leads came from the post despite the over 850 shares it received. Family members each posted about Tonee's disappearance as well, and someone mentioned seeing her in the nearby Hill District. Family and friends canvassed the area, knocking on doors, handing out flyers, but there was no sign of Tonee, and it would be very uncharacteristic for Tonee to be in this neighborhood. She had no purpose there. She didn't know anyone. Family also put out on social media requesting the shoes and ceramic pot be turned in, hoping that it would lead to some potential evidence. No one ever came forward with the items. Tonee's sister, Sydney, posted early in her disappearance that they believe Tonee may be traveling down Interstate 80 and for people to please keep their eyes peeled. Sydney utilized the power of social media by making the Facebook group Tonee Turner Missing, and very quickly to widen the net when searching for more information. Given where the items were found, the theory of suicide was one of the first on the list. Searches below the bridge and in the water were conducted, but no body was ever found. They even went through Tonee's journal to see where her mind could possibly be. A few notes indicating some sad moments, but nothing to indicate major instabilities that would push Tonee to take her own life. She was in just a regular walk of life where there's some ups, some downs, but she was on a high at the moment. In past cases where a person had jumped from this bridge, their bodies were always found, usually within a couple of hours. So the fact that they didn't find Tonee was a positive thing. They felt she didn't jump from this bridge. Investigators also seem to believe that Tonee made it home because the red jacket she had been seen wearing earlier in the day was found in her home, but they were not able to verify this as her roommate was out of town for the holidays. Could she have come home from work, changed out of her red jacket, and then left again?
Also, the purse being on the side of the road, someone could have dumped it as they were driving through the bridge.
With hope dwindling each passing day, the Braddock community riled together for a vigil for Tonee. I don't know about you, Melissa, but summer is usually when our budget gets thrown out the window. Between family vacations, summer camps, and the increase of snacks to feed 2 boys, having the option for online banking is a must to track all of my expenses accurately. Chime online banking makes that a breeze.
Yes, and I love that I get my direct deposit 2 days early without any monthly fees. I was worried I wouldn't be able to access any ATMs for free, but I was so wrong. Chime members have access to over 60,000 ATM machines with zero fees. There is nothing I hate more than random spending.
Sign up for Chime today and make this summer the best one yet for yourself and your wallet. Get started at chime.com/Cabernet. That's chime.com/Cabernet.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and debit cards provided by the Bancorp Bank, the Bancorp Bank NA, or Stride Bank NA. Members FDIC. Eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Access to direct deposits up to 2 days early depend on the timing of the submission and the payment file from the payer. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply.
Tonee was very active in the area, hosting gallery openings, helping teach classes, and bringing a light to the neighborhood. Over 100 people attended the vigil supporting the family. Tonee's family has continued to push for media coverage. But as you see with most cases of missing persons, the stories begin coming fewer and further between. Tonee was a woman of color, and could this possibly be a reason as to why her story is not shared more? No new leads have arisen, regardless of the police department saying it's still an active case. February 29th of 2020, in honor of Tonee's love for dance and the arts, a dance party benefit was held at the Cobra Lounge.
I love that. It's like her. It's the dance party. It's not anything to be crazy somber about. It's full of life and full of art.
Tonee was missing for almost a year when her family held a silent march. But they weren't out there just for Tonee. They were there for all of the missing people in Pennsylvania, in the United States, in the world. When Tonee was last seen, she was wearing a black zip-up jacket, a gray shirt with orange letters spelling out Habla Español on the back, grayish cargo pants, and possibly a black head wrap. Tonee is 5 foot 2 inches tall, weighing approximately 130 pounds. She has piercings in her ears, nose, and bottom lip, and she has a tattoo on her left shoulder of a spiral. If you have any information, have seen Tonee Turner, or saw her items on that bridge that evening, please contact the Pittsburgh Police Department at 412-323-7800. I also encourage you to go join the Facebook page of Tonee Turner Missing to help continue advocating, to help share the post. Her sister and her mom are very active in it, just trying to find their loved one.
It's cases like these that just baffle my mind. How does someone just vanish like this? Someone has to know something.
I did put in a FOIA request, and obviously it being an active case, I did not receive any of the documents, but I do believe that there's more to this story. There's got to be a camera somewhere. It was 2019 that
Yes.
saw if she was walking to the bridge. that saw if someone grabbed her outside of her house. There's got to be some evidence somewhere.
Yes, I completely agree. 2019 is literally 3 years ago.
If it's something nefarious, if someone pushed her over the bridge, it would be the same instance, the suicide theory. They would have found a body. And why would they set her items on the ground on the pedestrian walkway and not toss it over with her or get
Exactly.
rid of it? If that was her shoes and that ceramic pot, one, no one ever said the ceramic pot was broken. The man who found it did not say there was a shattered ceramic pot. So I don't believe that if these items were hers, all of these items were hers, they were just tossed out the window going across the bridge, because it was the pedestrian walkway
Okay.
that they were found on, which is separate from the driving portion of the bridge.
Yeah, I was just thinking if they're driving over the bridge and they tried to throw it out of their vehicle to get it to go into the water, but they were a crappy thrower, then
Sure.
they would land there. But like you said, you would think that the ceramic pot would have broken.
Yes.
So,
So where did those items go? Did someone pick them up thinking it was just trash?
I know that'd be a great question as well. Was there any other trash around? Or did like someone come up, possibly community service people, and pick up everything? Or were these the only items that were there at one point and then gone when they went back?
Is there a large unhoused population in the area? If they were useful items, or maybe these unhoused individuals saw something, saw how it ended up there. I know that the family members of Tonee mentioned originally that at first they were happy with the way the investigation was going. It seemed that Pittsburgh, they put it out there on their social media, asking for questions, asking for information. But then shortly after that, it just died off. They just got busy with other cases, which clearly there's a lot going on in Pittsburgh based on numbers.
Yes, there's a lot. But she still deserves the time and the attention to find her.
Absolutely. We would like to extend a thank you to the ever-talented Kyle Rebar for his audio work on today's episode. Just by listening to our content, you too are advocating for justice for these families. Thank you for making a difference in their lives as well.
We want to share a few ways you can support us to continue our mission. You can become a Patreon subscriber for as little as $5 per month, or a simple rate and review on your favorite podcast platform helps us get in front of someone who may know something.
We will continue to shed a light on the forgotten victims, untangle the webs of deceit, and examine the eerie coincidences that make these cases so compelling.
We believe that working together can affect change and create a world where victims are heard, justice is served, and communities are empowered to make a difference, no matter where or who they are.